it made me cry. And it really hurt my feelings. And I thought, in the context of everything else that was going on in those days leading to the wedding, if you love me, you don't have to hate her. And if you love her, you don't need to hate me.
A lot of little girls have been told, well, that will never happen for you. Sure. You will never, ever be a princess. I beg to differ.
From the outside, Meghan Markle and Catherine appeared destined to become allies. Two women stepping into history, side by side, representing a modern future for the royal family. But inside the monarchy, their differences were never personal, they were structural. And understanding why Meghan and Catherine were always on different paths explains nearly everything that followed. When Meghan Markle entered royal life, the public saw possibility. She was articulate, confident, and comfortable in the spotlight, traits often rewarded in modern public life. Prince Harry appeared energized, grounded, and hopeful. For a moment, it felt as though the monarchy was gently evolving. Catherine, by contrast, had already mastered survival within the institution. Years of scrutiny had taught her restraint. She learned that visibility carried risk, and that stability came not from asserting oneself, but from endurance. Silence, in her world, was not weakness, it was discipline. When the four appeared together, William, Catherine, Harry, and Meghan, the narrative seemed effortless. A united generation, a smooth transition. That was the expectation. That was the story everyone accepted. But sources close to the palace suggest something more complicated was unfolding beneath the surface. Meghan arrived with instincts shaped by media, advocacy, and self-expression. She understood narrative. She understood that speaking clearly could protect you. Catherine had learned the opposite lesson. Over time, she adapted by becoming measured, contained, and emotionally economical. In the monarchy, she learned, restraint preserved balance. Neither approach was wrong, but they were incompatible inside an institution built on quiet hierarchy. At early joint engagements, this contrast became visible. Meghan spoke with ease and warmth. Catherine paced herself carefully, choosing when and how much to speak. One filled space naturally, the other controlled it by limiting presence. The Royal Foundation Forum marked a shift. Meghan addressed questions fluently and confidently. Catherine, pregnant and reportedly unwell, remained composed but guarded. Media coverage followed quickly. Comparisons intensified. Insiders say Catherine's discomfort was not rooted in jealousy, but in concern. In royal culture, standing out disrupts equilibrium. Attention is meant to be shared, softened, and diffused. Meghan did not dim herself. Behind closed doors, small moments accumulated. Not confrontations, but frictions. The now famous lip gloss moment was one of them, trivial on its own, yet revealing. In royal settings, boundaries are formal and deeply ingrained. What appeared casual to one person reportedly felt presumptive to another. At the same time, pressure mounted on both women. Catherine was navigating pregnancy, young children, and public duty without pause. Meghan was adjusting to a system where autonomy narrowed daily. Every gesture was interpreted, every silence analysed. They were under immense strain, but processing it differently. Then came the comment. Casual, possibly unintended, but emotionally charged. A reference to baby brain. To some, it sounded harmless. To others, deeply dismissive given the context. A private meeting followed, involving William, Catherine, Harry, and Meghan. Voices were reportedly calm, but the tension unmistakable. That meeting marked a shift. Trust, once fragile, began to fracture. The bridesmaid dress dispute followed. Slowly, through messages, fittings, and miscommunication. Princess Charlotte's dress became the focus, but insiders insist the issue was never about fabric. It was about authority, about whose standards applied, and about how compromise was understood. Later accounts differed, but what mattered most was not who cried, it was who felt unseen. Catherine reportedly arrived with flowers, an apology, an effort to restore balance. Within royal culture, this was significant. Apologies are rare, emotional acknowledgement even rarer. For a moment, reconciliation seemed possible, but silence followed. And silence, inside the royal family, is never empty. It is deliberate, it is protected, and it is powerful. After the wedding, narratives emerged, whispers of tension, anonymous sources shaping perception. Catherine said nothing, no clarification, no response. She followed the rule that had defined her survival: never complain, never explain. Meghan did not. Years later, during the Oprah interview, Meghan reopened a chapter Catherine had never addressed publicly. In doing so, the dynamic shifted permanently. When Meghan stated that she had not made Catherine cry, but that Catherine had made her cry, the story became testimony, and Catherine, bound by royal restraint, could not respond. Sources say this moment was received not as clarification, but as escalation. Not because Meghan spoke dishonestly, but because she spoke unopposed. From that point, two paths became clear. William and Catherine remained silent, steady, and predictable. Over time, controversy softened. Consistency was rewarded. Harry and Meghan chose openness. Interviews followed, a documentary, a memoir, each adding context and emotion, but also division. Public reaction fractured. Empathy grew for some, fatigue for others. Within royal circles, the question was no longer about right or wrong. It was about method, about whether public disclosure could coexist with an institution built on endurance. Catherine never corrected the record, never defended herself, never offered her version, and in doing so, she gained something Meghan did not: stability. Years later, public perception reflects this divide. William and Catherine are viewed as anchors, symbols of continuity. Harry and Meghan remain influential, but polarizing. Not villains, not victims, but disruptors within a system that punishes disruption. This story was never truly about lip gloss, or a dress, or an interview. It was about two women navigating power through entirely different instincts inside an institution that rewards only one. And the question that remains is not whose truth mattered more, but whether the cost of telling it was ever fully understood. Because in the royal family, some things are forgiven, some are forgotten, and some are simply remembered, without ever being answered. If this analysis added clarity to a story that remains unresolved, like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.